This edition of the Rhode Island Spotlight is brought to you by Amica Insurance, a proud sponsor of Skills for Rhode Island's Future. From a restaurant in East Providence to a veterinary office in Swansea, a laboratory at an engineering firm in Cranston, and a recording studio in Lincoln. More than 250 high school seniors descended on businesses throughout Rhode Island for 6-week internships over the summer. They were part of a program called Prepare RI, an annual initiative run by Skills for Rhode Island's Future, a nonprofit founded a decade ago with a laser focus on workforce development.
The workforce is changing at such a fast pace that schools and institutions just simply can't keep up with the pace of change that's happening in private industry.
Nina Pandey is Skills RI's founding executive director. She's had a front row seat for the changes and the challenges of connecting employers with employees.
We get to be at that intersection of where innovation is taking us in the workplace, where we're meeting people at the front door, understanding who they are, what do they need, and then really trying to build that bridge so that Rhode Island has a talent-ready pipeline for not just jobs of today, but jobs of the future.
How's everybody feeling today? All right.
One of those programs is the summer internships that kick off with a week-long boot camp in late June at Rhode Island College, aimed at getting these students ready for the workplace. A total of 260 soon-to-be high school seniors arrived at Gage Hall for registration.
So we have a lot of rules.
Then a tough love welcome from Pandey that was heavy on expectations for the summer.
I am the drill sergeant at Prepare RI Boot Camp, no doubt about it. And this is sometimes the first time they're hearing of it, which is shocking to me.
You got to be here on time. We're paying you, so this is a job, and we're not going to put up with a lot of distraction.
After a daily morning meeting, the students fanned out to buildings across the RIC campus, assembling in smaller group workshops, later meeting with business leaders and state government officials for panel discussions, before heading to the dining hall for lunch and a little downtime, then back for afternoon sessions.
The Achilles heel, when you take on too much and you can't get it all done or you exhaust yourself. I see that.
It's a full day, just like it will be at their internships, and Pandey wants them to be ready.
By the end of the week of boot camp, they don't want to leave. And they said, we just wish we could be here another week and learn.
The program was capped off with a graduation ceremony, including awards and speakers. Graduates of the program, some of whom eventually get jobs with their summer employers, will sometimes contact Pandey years later.
They point to this internship as that, catalyst for where their life is now. They attribute this program for feeling like they were prepared for college or entering their first interview.
Pandey said there is a lot of pressure on high school students these days, especially with the cost of a college education.
Going into their senior year, they have to make major life choices. Are they going to, when they graduate, are they going to college? If they're going to college, what are they studying? What do they want to do? It's expensive. College is expensive.
We saw the interns in action in July and August.
Nice and easy. Here we go. Ready?
Grace Michelson helped out at Rock Steady Boxing Gym in East Greenwich, which works with men and women in various stages of Parkinson's disease. Lexi Goff split her time between Ocean State Veterinary Specialists in East Greenwich and Bay State Veterinary Emergency and Specialty Services in Swansea. On this day in August, she was helping prep a cat for an endoscopy, monitoring its vitals under the direction of veterinarian Gary Block. Audrey Rolfe spent her internship at Rise Engineering in Cranston. We saw her preparing rock samples for analysis at their laboratory on Elmwood Avenue. And then there was Jaden Ferreras, a senior at the Met School in Providence, who wanted to learn more about catering and the restaurant business. Skills RI paired him and fellow intern Jesus Flores with Sterling Spellman, the co-owner of Incredible Restaurant in East Providence.
Oftentimes I find that people don't want to hire young people because they feel like maybe they don't have the skills yet. But how do they get the skills if they never have the experience, you know?
This is the second year that Spellman and her husband Russell have used interns from the Prepare RI program.
Young people are getting to see the behind the scenes of what a situation really is. All of us, I don't know if you remember your first job, you probably was like, my employer, why don't they do it this way? Why don't they do it that way? Until you get to see the other side of it and you're like, oh wow.
What do you see from the beginning to the end?
Oftentimes we have very timid or nervous kids come in, or very like, I know it all kids come in. But over time, you see them understanding themselves a little better. You see them understanding their role and also what it means to be in the workforce.
Quite honestly, it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Ferreira said immersing himself in the business changed his perspective.
A lot of times I didn't realize what actually went into a business of like a restaurant. They taught me how to prep, how to cook. You know that feeling when you discover something new and it's just like, it's such a feeling that you don't want to lose? That was the feeling I got every single day at the internship, and a sense of family.
When they come and they've never had a work experience before and they think they don't have to call. When they're running late, they think, oh, I'll get there when I get there. We coach them through in a real work experience. People are relying on you. So you have to show up on time. And if you're running late, life happens, we all run late, you have to make a phone call.
Spellman said it is critical for many of the students that they are being paid by Skills RI to do their internships. And it gives the businesses extra help without having to carry extra salary.
To have opportunities where they really can get internship experience as well as pay is so huge, because some kids, believe it or not, are helping out at home with bills. Or if they're not helping their parents with bills, they need to pay their own cell phone bill. They need to buy their clothes for school shopping, because times are hard, right?
Entonces lo que hacemos aquí es que esas destrezas suaves.
On a rainy Saturday in April, more than a dozen Spanish-speaking owners of businesses in the area gathered for a workshop at Skills RI's offices in downtown Providence. It's part of a new initiative the agency launched in 2023 called the Rhode Island Small Business Hub.
But a lot of those small business owners didn't have necessarily the business skills. Everybody has a great idea. So it's great that we have this entrepreneurial spirit in the state of Rhode Island, but then they also need the technical skills to back it up, right? They need the accounting skills. They need the marketing skills. They need all of that stuff. It's about honest conversations, proper education, making sure that they're empowered to be successful, but then setting them up with those tools, right?
And realistic expectations.
Realistic expectations, including having hard conversations when saying, you're not ready. Yeah. I love your idea, you're not ready, right? And sometimes people need to hear that also.
Panday said Skills RI holds boot camps for adults that mirror some of what the high school students were learning.
Things that are so foreign to me, like not showing up day one on a job. I've never heard of that, but it happens, and it happens more often than we think about it. And the questions that we ask ourselves here at the agency is, did they not show up because they didn't want to work? Or did they not show up because there was other stuff?
But there is a parallel focus on the business community too.
Businesses are often slow to change their HR hiring practices, and I think that is where we've really become a bridge for them. We are lucky in Rhode Island where we have a lot of employers who care deeply about their communities, but the challenge is again, meeting their needs, their demands with where the talent is, and so we are constantly trying to fill that skills gap we hear about quite a bit. We're not that agency where everybody gets a trophy. You saw that at boot camp, right? We are real. We tell it like it is. And a lot of times, again, just like the youth, a lot of times the adults are hearing that from the first time. And so we want to set real expectations, and our standards are high. But when we get it right, it's magic. You see some of the highest conversion ratios of talent to hire, and you also see people who are retaining their employment longer.
In Providence, Jim Hummel for the Rhode Island Spotlight.
Alright, so that means that...
You already did one of that.